live with them.
Every year brings its share of cinematic highs and lows, and 2025 has been no different. While audiences were treated to some standout blockbusters and inventive smaller films, there were also plenty of releases that missed the mark, sometimes spectacularly.
Come on.
From lifeless remakes and misguided adaptations to vanity projects and genre mashups that just didn't work, these movies proved more frustrating than fun. Here's a rundown of the 7 worst films of 2025. The ones that left viewers disappointed, critics unimpressed, and studios probably wishing they could hit undo. So, the 7th worst movie of 2025 on our list is Until Dawn. The 2020s have treated video game adaptations surprisingly well, with several managing to impress audiences and even dominate the box office, like the Super Mario Bros. Movie in 2023 and Minecraft the movie in 2025.
I am Steve.
Even television saw success, with at least one season of The Last of Us standing out as genuinely strong, a rare achievement for game-based storytelling in earlier decades. Unfortunately, not every adaptation has fared as well. Take 2025's Until Dawn, for instance, a film that strips away nearly everything that made the original interactive horror game so compelling. Instead of feeling innovative or immersive, it settles for being just another routine mystery survival flick, leaving fans of the game wondering what happened to its creativity and charm. And the 6th worst movie of 2025 on our list is Love Hurts. Love Hurts brings together 2 Oscar-winning stars, Ke Huy Quan and Ariana DeBose, both of whom earned major acclaim earlier in the decade for Everything Everywhere All at Once and West Side Story, respectively. Unfortunately, their recent career choices haven't been nearly as strong. Kwan's had a decent moment with Loki Season 2, but that goodwill fades fast when you factor in Love Hurts and his voice role in Kung Fu Panda 4, both major misfires. Plus yet another underwhelming 2025 project we'll get to later. DeBose hasn't fared much better, with a string of poorly received roles in Wish, Kraven the Hunter, and Argylle. Honestly, the most important takeaway here might be a plea for Hollywood to give these talented actors material worthy of them. Because, as far as Love Hurts goes, it's a confused mix of romantic comedy and action flick that can't make either side work, stumbling awkwardly between tones and never landing a hit. And on number 5, we have The Alto Knights. The Alto Knights carries a kind of weary energy that seeps into every frame, leaving the viewer oddly deflated rather than moved. Unlike The Irishman, another crime saga reflecting on aging and regret, this film's gloom feels unintentional, the byproduct of a tired production rather than meaningful storytelling. It's especially disappointing given the pedigree involved. Robert De Niro, playing 2 characters inexplicably, director Barry Levinson, and writer Nicholas Pileggi, whose past work helped define the gangster genre.
But you know that kid, from the city we're talking about?
Here, though, everyone seems far from their prime. De Niro does what he can, but comparisons to his earlier collaborations with Scorsese are inevitable and unflattering. Levinson's direction lacks spark, and Pileggi's script feels like a pale imitation of the sharp, layered crime stories he once mastered with Goodfellas and Casino. The result is a sluggish, forgettable entry in the filmographies of people who've all done far better work. And the 4th worst movie is The Electric State.
We were built to think, but now they don't want us to.
At one point, Simon Stollenhag's The Electric State seemed like the kind of story that could never be successfully adapted for the screen. And after seeing the 2025 film, that assumption feels more accurate than ever. The original book was haunting, quiet, and filled with emotional ambiguity. But the movie tosses all that aside in favour of loud action, flashy CGI, and a cast that feels completely mismatched to the material. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, and written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the same creative team behind several successful Marvel and sci-fi blockbusters, this should have been a sure thing. Instead, it's a rare misfire, echoing the Alto Knights in how a group of proven talents somehow produced something hollow and uninspired. The Electric State ends up being not just a poor adaptation, but a forgettable film altogether, fading from public memory almost as quickly as it arrived, which says more than any review ever could.
They deserve the right to work for me when I plug them in, and when they don't, it's off to the garbage.
And on number 3, we have Hurry Up Tomorrow. After 3 strong films, Trey Edward Schultz stumbled with Hurry Up Tomorrow, widely seen as more of a weekend vanity project than a solid movie. Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan do their best, but the material doesn't help, and The Weeknd, playing a version of himself while also co-producing and co-writing, still struggles to make acting work for him. While the film has a few striking visuals and music moments, its messy execution and weak connection to The Weeknd's real artistry leave it feeling tedious and forgettable. And on number 2, we have Bride Hard. If you're hunting for a solid action flick in 2025, there are plenty of options. But if you're in the mood for something pretty terrible, look no further than Bride Hard. The premise is exactly what the title suggests. Basically, Die Hard, except it's set at a wedding instead of a Christmas party, and it tries to play things more as a comedy. The problem? It isn't funny. In fact, the original Die Hard, a movie that isn't even a comedy, delivers better laughs with its natural comic relief.
Those are my lucky numbers.
Sitting through Bride Hard might give you bragging rights, but the real win is being the person who never wasted time on it at all. After all, when it comes to this movie, the only thing worth laughing at is the idea that it ever got made.
Just knew how to drive everything. Not female secret agent? What?
And the last worst movie of 2025 on our list is Snow White. At this point, Snow White feels like a movie that's already been dissected to exhaustion. There's not much left to add. It's bad, but maybe not as bad as its brutal 2.1 IMDb rating implies. Calling it a 4 out of 10 instead doesn't exactly make it a hidden gem, though. It's one of those films that might be overhated, yet still perfectly deserving of criticism. In truth, the reaction to Snow White has been far more fascinating than the film itself. Audiences weren't all that interested to begin with, and the box office reflected that indifference. Still, Disney seems determined to keep remaking its old classics rather than giving its less successful titles another shot. And whatever small lesson could have been taken from Snow White's failure has likely been erased by the commercial success of the slightly less terrible, but equally uninspired, Lilo and Stitch remake from 2025.
Not off, go get your shoes.
So, which movie do you think was the worst of 2025? Let us know in the comments below, and for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.